the third industrial revolution in the evolution of tools such as electronics, telecommunications, and computers, which enabled the rapid improvement of machines and other tools that make it easier. This paved the way for the fourth industrial revolution, whose main feature has been the internet, which has enabled people across the world to communicate faster and more easily, more than they had ever imagined. Communication is now much faster than before, and to transfer 5 megabits of data, you don't need the $10,000 hard drive by IBM that was the size of a fridge in 1956. You can just send it on WhatsApp. With all the innovations we are seeing today, some say we are on the fifth industrial revolution, where technological innovations will change how we work and help meet the deficit of employment opportunities, especially for young people in Kenya. And there is a real need. According to 2020 Kenya National Bureau of Statistics census data, more than 5 million young people, or 38.9% of the more than 13 million young Kenyans, are jobless, further widening the gap between the rich and poor.
Ajira program is aimed at training our young people to be able to get access to digital work. And in this instance, we want to encourage people like yourselves who are trainers of trainers to use that platform to be able to work with, for example, our Ajira trainers, for you to be able to acquire those skills and to be able to pass on those skills to the other young men and women.
In a bid to address the unemployment issue in the country, Kenya has embarked on its digital transformation journey to tap into the immense opportunities in the digital economy. To prepare the youth for this space, the government launched the Ajira Digital program to train, mentor, and ensure young people were equipped for the gig economy.
Ajira Digital allows them to supplement their work, to supplement activities. If they are doing research, if they're involved in education, they can still be able to have that and still have some basic income that allows them to make ends meet. We've got over 300 people being trained on the Cisco Academy skills, and actually we've done so far over 424 or so, and of those, the 50 are getting even scholarships.
So our trainings are designed to be 2-day to 1-week trainings, where a young person is able to go through: how do I create an online work account? What is this online work and gig economy? What are the local and international platforms that I can benefit from? How do I create a profile? How do I bid? And most importantly, how do I grow my rating to a degree where I can earn a dignified income?
We now have over 353 centers that we've set up across. These are a combination of what we used to call CIHs, Constituency Innovation Hubs, and then the Youth Empowerment Centers. We've combined them to, Ajira Youth Empowerment Centers, which means we have at least one in every constituency. So young people can go there and be able to start working, to be trained, to get involved with the different activities that are going on within that hub.
We're coming in to really operationalize and hopefully scale the impact of Ajira.
The government and private sector have been playing a key role in driving the gig economy through digitization of services and adoption of digital services.
Through the Ajira Digital program, our purpose is to introduce at least 10,000 Kenyan youth to online work.
Errands Guy, which is a platform that runs errands for individuals and businesses, has continued to serve as a job linkage platform for Ajira trainees.
We needed to build our business around technology. Technology being an enabler for us to reach more people. And that is how our story has been taking shape. We believe that we could be able to even absorb, even by December, 500.
Elimu TV, which enables education through the media, has also been serving as a digital employer for both teachers and Ajira trainees, who are more instrumental during their online campaigns, which seek to raise awareness on availability of educational content in the digital space.
Our Twitter campaigns, the last one we did, we are actually number 3 in the country, and we used about 180 youth to be able to push that campaign. The one that we just finished last week, we used 53 youth, And again, we were able to reach over 73,000 people. And those young people have been quite active, quite aggressive, and progressively they are getting engaged, even not only by us, but even by other agencies.
So the businesses need to start looking at these models, creating the efficiency, creating work where they can actually package and it will be done very quickly.
When I joined Ajira in 2017, I was a student still, and I wanted to gain extra skills in to make money online. And I already had an idea about doing academic papers. So I started doing academic papers, I started doing content writing, and then I didn't know about transcription then, which of course when I went for the training, I got to learn about transcription. And I managed to help myself to make some cash.
One of the skills that I learned was the soft skills, which are really important, especially when negotiating, talking to clients, relating to people.
With the faster internet and improved connectivity that has made the digital economy a reality, teachers can now reach their students anywhere across the country, which became one of the most practical ways for learning to continue during the pandemic. Elimu TV is one of the online platforms giving students an opportunity to learn from the comfort of their homes.
I teach from my house in Nyeri, and I teach students all over Kenya. You see, I just Googled how to use the Zoom app, haraka, and the following day, the job was started.
In case they were not able to get something during the class, we have a WhatsApp group where they send the question, then we do it there.
The judiciary has also joined this journey and has made significant steps towards digitizing its services by training legal transcribers to type the proceedings of the cases.
We have put in place systems to have a virtual court. A virtual court is where we can hear the case from here and a witness is in Washington. He testifies when he is in Washington.
The digital economy is growing faster than overall economies, especially in the developing countries. According to the World Bank, ICT accounts for 17% of GDP growth in developing countries. Wowzy, a platform that allows advertisers to load a brief, then select influencers that they would like to engage with. The platform has also continued to provide opportunities for Ajira trainees to practice their craft.
Digital is where young people thrive because unlike the generations ahead of them, they are the experts.
I'm a believer that you learn every day, every experience, because now that transition is what is important. That even as they are trained, also the market comes to terms with the aspects of the gig economy.
And for online professional workers, there is already the Online Professional Workers Association of Kenya, which aims to build their professions and speak in one voice.
We currently have about 500 members within the organization. Kenya does have one of the best transcribers, not only in Africa, but in the world.
Kari Kambulu is the co-founder of Atabantu, whose one of the flagship products is range.co.ke, a digital e-commerce platform that equips young people on the necessary tools to thrive on the e-commerce space.
These skills that I have, what is my strength? What is the thing that I am good at? Whether or not you're, becoming self-employed or you're getting a job, you still have to know what you're good at. And then ask yourself the most important question: who will pay for it?
Online work is skilled work, and online work is work, and it pays.
Thank you all, supporters of the Ajira Digital Program. Without you, we would not have been able to succeed to the level that we have. We still have a way to go, but I would like to thank especially the MasterCard Foundation for the support that you've already given to us, and the trainings that have now started across the country are very visible. Young people are being able to log in, be able to get the training that they need, and actually have started earning. They're doing this across the country. So thank you very much for the support, and we look forward to continuing to work together with you.
We are a business defined by bravery, passion, and readiness. Born of the most diverse continent, and so our identity holds true to this, built with one principle in mind: start with iconic. So what is iconic about our African context? Red, rich, warm, and symbolic. It is in our lands, our skies, our stories, and is woven into the fabric of our cultures and nations. A sense of community like no other. We pull together through thick and thin because we are stronger and more resilient together. This builds networks, connections, and spheres of influence that draw their power from people. We are a continent, a people, and a business whose strength comes from the connections between infinite parts, unified by our purpose to bring possibility to life. We are Absa, and our meaning and expression is inspired by Africa. We simplified our core shapes, replacing old austerity with something altogether more human, refining it to a contemporary and cohesive foundation. We shifted our corporate red from one that was harsh and cold to one that is warm and human, and unleashed a powerful spectrum, African to its core. One that can express diverse meaning and humanity in all its forms. We are Absa, and this is our icon. It grounds us and expresses our humanity, strength, and balance. We create the waves of change. We inspire infinite possibility. And through this, we are bringing Africa into Absa. We make meaning with the stories we tell and have gestures that help us tell these stories, conveying meaning that requires no words. Inclusive, expressive, infinite, intimate, exuberant, epic, or quietly understated, youthful, or fun, premium, redefined, artful, always with people at the heart. It's a feeling. Let us go boldly into the future. We are Absa. We bring possibility to life.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A big welcome to those who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook, Absa pages, as well as those who are following us on KEPSA YouTube page. Thank you to all those who have attended the event in person. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you. My name is Philbert Julai Mdindi. I will be your MC for the day. The hashtag for the day is hashtag Ajira Ready to Work. Please share your comments on our pages. I'll be looking out for those who are interacting with us, and I'll be giving a few gift items as we proceed with our program. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 years ago, I walked in an interview room. I was called for my first interview, just 3 weeks after I had concluded my campus. I remember one of the questions that I was asked was, tell us about yourself. I was very scared. I didn't have anyone who took me through the formal training of what to do when you're asked such a question. Today, I am very excited because we are placing in the hands of my younger brothers and sisters tools that will equip them to handle such tense moments. when they encounter interview opportunities. In today's fast-paced environment, a do-it-alone attitude is not a strategy that will help any organization move forward. And so when we see opportunities like this where organizations, government and private sector come together to utilize their collective synergies to bring opportunities for young people, it is something that we should celebrate. I am very honored that today we are joined by a number of distinguished guests. Ms. Lucy Mulili, who is representing the CS ICT. She is the Administrative Secretary, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth. We have the Kenya Private Sector Alliance CEO, Carol Kariuki. We're also joined by the Absa Bank Kenya Managing Director and CEO, Jeremy Awori. We also have in the room Absa Kenya Chief Strategy Officer and Acting Marketing Director, Marketing and Corporate Relations Director, Mr. Moses Mudhui. We have KEPSA Fraternity, my fellow colleagues at Absa, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. With your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen, please consider all protocols observed so that when you come on stage, you do not have to go through the entire list. Without much ado, I want to take this opportunity to invite the Director of Ajira Digital Youth and Employment Program, Dr. Ehud Gashogu, to come and introduce us to what Ajira program is all about. Dr. Gashogu, please make your way on stage. Please help me with the, you'll use the podium. You'll use the mic on the podium.
Good morning, everyone. And once again, we are very delighted and excited to be part of this very important and auspicious event that once again marks a very important milestone for this country where we are discussing matters youth employment, and youth opportunities. As Kenya Private Sector Alliance, this means a lot to us as we continue to pursue our agenda of supporting the government of Kenya to develop programs that are youth-centered, youth-oriented, and that are also important to the private sector. So for today, this partnership with Ajira Digital Project unveils yet another opportunity to work with some of our members to look at their ecosystem business processes and avail some of the opportunities that young people in this country can be able to support and create value through the digital and digitally enabled opportunities. For Ajira Digital Project, which is a Government of Kenya program under the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, our goal is to introduce 1 million young people to digital and digital enabled work every year. And this is a goal that private sector has been also in support and working on it relentlessly. And private sector really plays a very pivotal role for Ajira because work can only be generated, catalyzed, when the private sector is thriving and growing. So as such, we look for all opportunities that we can work together with our members to make these opportunities available. And Ajira really provides that platform where we are able to bring everyone on board, both the academia, the government, digital jobs platform, as well as young people who have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to really transform this nation. Ajira Digital Project is funded by Mastercard Foundation, and as KEPSA, our work is to support job development, both in the public sector as well as in the private sector. We do this by looking at opportunities where digitization can also catalyze and activate jobs. And in the public sector, we are working on a pilot at judiciary. In the private sector, we are supporting businesses to develop outsourcing programs that enables them to avail some of job opportunities to young people. Over and above that, we are also supporting small businesses, micro and small enterprises, to acquire what we call digital footprints as we endeavor to support implementation of Kenya digital strategy. So today, this partnership further the goals that I've just mentioned. We do believe that with many other private sector coming on board and helping us to look at this issue of youth employment with a digital lens, it is the only option that we have as a nation. It's the only option for our businesses to survive and also to guarantee our future customers and our future market. So we look forward to a very fruitful event, to a productive partnership, and we would like to once again welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daktari, for your remarks. I think you have gotten an appreciation of what Ajira program is all about. And I wouldn't want to take more time on stage. I want to take this opportunity to invite our Chief Strategy Officer, who is also the Acting Marketing Director for Absa Bank Kenya, Mr. Moses Mudhui, to come and make his opening remarks. And in turn, welcome the Managing Director and CEO of Absa Bank Kenya, Mr. Jeremy Awori. Moses.
The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, represented here today by the Secretary of Administration, Lucy Molili, the CEO of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, Ms. Carol Kariuki, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of Absa Bank Kenya PLC, Mr. Jeremy Awori, members of the MasterCard Foundation, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's really indeed a great pleasure to welcome all of you to this event, to witness yet again one of the initiatives that as a bank we are really proud about. I also want to thank you most sincerely for honoring our invitation. We want to thank the ministry through the CES and the Secretary of Administration for the great work that you continue to do to make sure that we continue to anchor the socio-economic future of our nation, particularly through our young people. The vision that you have with the Ajira digital program and the daily commitment that we see that you have driving that program in partnership with other organizations is something that we are very proud about. We also wish to sincerely thank Carol and the organization at KEPSA for really continuing to rally many of us in the private sector to collaborate and stand on the national stage behind initiatives that really matter. And as a brand, we truly believe that we can only secure the future of our nation if young people are meaningfully engaged and involved in everything that we do. As a brand, we like to say we are here to bring possibilities to life. In a way, in our small ways, to harness the energy of our people to make sure that they're meaningfully engaged and involved, and to harness that positive tenacity and ingenuity that we particularly see in our young people to make sure that the energies are positively harnessed towards things that really matter and the right things. So for us today demonstrates yet another opportunity where in a small way, in partnership with the government, with the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, with organizations like the MasterCard Foundation, to bring our tools to help our young people as they seek to start their own endeavors or seek to gain employment. And as we collaborate to ensure that we jointly address the opportunities and the challenges that come with employment and employability skills. So again, we are very pleased to be able to host this event. We are very pleased to be able to partner. We'll talk shortly about what the partnership entails. And I just want to thank everyone once again for being here this morning. It's now my pleasure to invite the Chief Executive of Absa, Jeremy Awori, to make his remarks. Jeremy, please, welcome.
Thank you, Moses. Ms. Lucy Mulili, Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth, representing Cabinet Secretary Honorable Joe Musheru, KEPSA CEO, Ms. Carol Kariuki, members and representatives from eMobilis, MasterCard Foundation, the KEPSA fraternity, our Absa colleagues, and then also to welcome members of the media and the press here today. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed really a distinct pleasure to be here with you this morning, to announce our partnership with the Kenya Private Sector Alliance on our Ready to Work program, which is partnering with the Ajira Digital program. And I think it's very exciting because this really represents youth. And I would like to thank everybody who made this possible today and for joining us today. At Absa, we're very excited, to bring on board KEPSA and to be partnering with the Ajira program. Because our youth really are the beacon of hope for this country. And we're very passionate about youth and empowering youth to give them all the possible opportunities that are aligned with their hopes and their dreams. For us, I think what's exciting about today is this is about partnerships. And this, in a way, is almost like it's a PPP, public-private partnership. We've got the private sector coming in. We're coming in and bringing specific tools, which I'll talk about. We've got the government coming in, represented through the Ministry of ICT. And then we have the umbrella organization, KEPSA, which represents the private sector. And then also to recognize, then we've also got, key foundational partners. And I think what's very exciting is, obviously, through the very generous contributions of the likes of MasterCard, working through ICT to deliver solutions that even 10 years ago, we could not talk about the kind of numbers that we can impact at the speed we're looking at impacting, which I will share in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, given the developments in our nation and around the world, today's conversation is critical for our collective response to a common threat to the development of our young people, who remain a critical pillar for our country's progress. As you're aware, youth make up the majority of our population and are arguably the country's most valuable economic assets. They do, however, suffer a significant unemployment challenge. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the unemployment rate in 2020 was 6.5%, owing to the economic impact of the COVID pandemic. Youth empowerment, we believe, is a catalyst for the positive social change in our communities, and a tool that really brings to light the potential that exists in each and every one of us. As a result, one of the strategic pillars of our corporate citizenship strategy is education and skills. As part of this strategy, we genuinely think that business solutions and public-private partnerships are required to address social issues and to deliver the Africa Rising narrative to all. Otherwise, inclusive prosperity will not be achieved for the majority of Africans, and the challenge of disenfranchised youth will continue to grow with its attendant consequences. Our strategy on shared value is thus broadly premised on the African opportunity and aligned to our target customer segments. Looking at high unemployment among the youth, for example, we understand that unlocking the economic potential of young people supports sustainable livelihoods for individuals, families, and communities. In addition, alleviating youth unemployment fuels Africa's economies through an active labor force. Ladies and gentlemen, to address the gap and increase access to education, employability, and economic opportunity, We have initiated several programs to support the youth, including the Ready to Work training program, a scholarship program that exposes young people and gives them also opportunities for internships, as well as educates them on various financial solutions and skills. Through the Ready to Work initiative, which is an employability training program that helps youth with their transition from school to the world of work, we have provided online and face-to-face training to more than 200,000 young people across Kenya, and provided a big number of them with jobs or work experience positions. By 2022, we aim to have reached 1 million youth. We also run a scholarship program in collaboration with the Higher Education Loans Board, through which we have provided monies for tuition, accommodation, upkeep, and laptops to over 574 deserving brilliant students at 56 local universities across the country. In September, we also launched an ambitious computer lab donation program that would benefit 66 learning institutions around the country. The Kenya Shillings 23 million program, which is being implemented in collaboration with Computer for Schools Kenya, aims to improve computer literacy and learning abilities among Kenyan students by utilizing the power of technology to aid learning. Distinguished guests, the partnership with KEPSA through the Ajira program that we are launching today is therefore in line with our efforts in this critical area of youth employment and empowerment. We hope to establish digital and technologically enabled job opportunities through this agreement, with the goal of connecting 1 million competent youth to these opportunities. We're convinced that now is the moment to focus our efforts on removing the systemic barriers that have stifled our growth. The need for digital connectivity is a national priority. Access to the internet is a fundamental right and is an essential instrument for youth empowerment. As we all know, digital connectivity is critical to the Ajira program's success. Indeed, having access to online platforms might mean the difference between a young person being able to complete their education and being disenfranchised. It can mean the difference between a young person keeping their employment or being laid off. We can no longer ignore what this pandemic has revealed, and empowering our youth necessitates a concerted effort to remove these barriers. This is the task we must perform together as partners, and it is the catalyst for the paradigm shift. When we think what the pandemic did in the working environment, and we can speak about the financial sector, and I can talk about ourselves as Absa. Other than our immediate frontline colleagues working in branches, we have probably 60+% of our colleagues working remotely, often working from home. So you can imagine if they are not digitally enabled, digitally literate, or don't have connectivity to the internet, that would make that working experience unimaginable. And we would have definitely experienced even higher unemployment. And we are not unique in this regard. And this really shows the impact that this can have. I also want to just talk briefly about our program, the Ready to Work program, which not only does it enable you and prepare you to write a CV, to write an introductory letter when you're applying for a job, it also enables you to prepare for that interview. You heard Philbert talking about it. It's very daunting. If you all cast your minds back to when you went for your first interview. You're a young person, you don't know what to expect, right? This process helps you prepare for that, helps you to think about your strengths, it helps you to think about what to say, how to project yourself in the most positive way. And it also has another element, which is, it's not just about employment. We also have a module that is very specific about if you want to run your own business, as many young people do today, it helps you understand the basics of running your own business. What you need to think about, how you need to prepare, how you need to sell yourself, the basics of running a business. And then also, quite importantly, one of the things that this program actually does is it teaches you about banking. Research has often shown that many Kenyans are not familiar with the different financial products that can help them achieve their goals. So part of the program includes that, explaining all the different financial tools, the different types of accounts you can have, what to look for when you're borrowing money, how to manage your finances so that you do not put yourself in a difficult financial situation. So we're excited. We've got the scale of wanting to touch and empower over 1 million youth, and we're excited about that. And it won't end there. If we get to the million, we will move to more millions of Kenyans. So finally, I would just like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to KEPSA, led by Ms. Carol Kariuki, for joining us on this journey. And we look forward to a fruitful collaboration working with KEPSA and with the government on this program as we continue to influence the next generation of entrepreneurs and leaders of this country. So I'm confident that working together, we can make a great difference in our society. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us here this morning as we announce this partnership. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention.
Thank you very much, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Absa Bank Kenya, Mr. Jeremy Awori. Now is the moment to remove the systemic barriers to empowering young people. I hope you have had your take on what Jeremy has delivered this morning. Before I invite the CEO of KEPSA, I want to sample a few comments from those who are following us online. The first comment on the KEPSA YouTube page from Steve Marsh said he's following. Doreen Chebet, who is following us on YouTube. On the Absa page, we have Morris Mutoko, said good morning on our Absa page. We have Ruby Gishagi, he said a great opportunity for the youth. Thank you, KEPSA. Isiao Ochieng, he said the best place to be so far. Let me say good morning to all who have managed to join the meeting. That's on the Absa page. We also have someone who says she's Maureen Kalondu, says these opportunities are life-changing. I appreciate so much. We appreciate you, Maureen. Thanks for joining us. We also have Ruth Lynn, says thank you, Absa and KEPSA. I'm tuning in from Nairobi. Without much ado, I would want to take this opportunity to invite the Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, Ms. Carol Kariuki, who in turn will invite the CS representative. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Lucy, for joining us this morning. I know the CS is at a cabinet meeting, but we are grateful that you could come on his behalf. Thank you, Jeremy, for this partnership. Thank you for your words this morning. I think you've elaborated very well what the program is about. Jeremy is a former member of KEPSA's board and continues to be a KEPSA advisor. And so we continue to work very closely together as we go along. For the media fraternity, we really thank you for really passing out this message, because we want as many young people to get to know where the opportunities are, because we hear so many saying, where are the jobs? We are stuck. And sometimes it's just not knowing where to go to. And so thank you to the media, and we hope that this message can get to as many Kenyans out there in as many counties as possible today and as we go forward. As you know, KEPSA is the umbrella body of the Private Sector Alliance. We are the largest association in sub-Saharan Africa, and so we are proud to have more than 1 million members, both from the associations indirectly and from the corporates such as Absa, and even as smaller startups that have joined us as we have continued to grow as an organization. Let me begin by just taking us back and say, like most economies globally, it is the role of the private sector to really create the jobs. You know, government creates the environment, government supports us with an enabling policy environment, but it is us, the private sector, to create the jobs. And over 70% of all formal jobs in Kenya are generated by the private sector and contributing to 2/3 of the GDP. So really, the private sector plays a big role. However, it's important to note that a thriving private sector is central to achieving the goals and objectives set in Kenya's Vision 2030 and the SDGs, as well as decent work and economic growth. So we are also not just looking at creating jobs, but we want decent jobs, where people feel they work for a good job. They wake up and they're happy to go to work, whether they're working on their laptops, on their phones, or they go to an office or go to do something for themselves. But so the idea is really to also create decent jobs, long-term jobs, not just short jobs. And so really that's really our focus. Thanks to the strong partnership with government and regular engagements through our public-private dialogues platforms, we've been able to work on numerous policy reforms that have ensured year-to-year improvement of the business environment. And so we really are monitoring how our businesses are growing. We know that with COVID, there's been a slowdown, but we are working on recovery as many other countries. So despite the economic slowdown in 2020, the 2021 Economic Survey by Kenya Bureau of Standards notes that sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, forestry, fishing, wholesale and retail, and repair of motor vehicles accounted for the highest wage employment in the private sector at 15.8, 15.1 and 13.1% respectively. Total number of former jobs declined marginally from 2,063,200 in 2019 to 1,856.6 thousand jobs, but this is set to bounce back with the projected economic rebound in 2021. And we're really doing a survey so that we can look back and say, have we recovered from what it was like last year? And so we'll be releasing that hopefully before the end of the year. The informal sector continued to play a lead job creator with 14.5 million people employed compared to 15.5 million in 2019. As the private sector, we remain committed to supporting government to ensure socio-economic transformation of the country, and more so towards achieving the goal of a rapidly industrializing middle-income economy, providing high quality of life for its citizens by 2030. Our youth population, which accounts for 75% of the total population, is a great resource we can tap to accelerate this transformation. So we don't look at the youth as a burden. We look at the youth as a resource. Sadly, the unemployment rate still remains high, but with the various programs that we're implementing, we are certain of increasing access to decent work over the remaining 9 years to 2030. For instance, through the Ajira project, which we have worked in partnership with Ministry of ICT that Ehud really described, and MasterCard and Immobilis, a total of 1.2 million jobs, digital and digitally enabled jobs, have been created for the young people in the last 1 year. This shows the potential of ICT and digital economy as we navigate the new COVID-19 era. Beyond running their businesses, private sector companies have also been involved in supporting implementation of youth employment programs, and such as what Absa has talked about with Ready to Work. We have Safaricom with Blaze. We have KCB with Ajira, Equity with Wings to Wings to Fly, Mabati Rolling Mills with Youth Entrepreneurship Initiative and TVET programs, just to name a few. SMEs have also been vital in supporting internship and programs, especially geared towards skills development, mentorship, and coaching. Over the years, as KEPSA, we started, and why we are keen on the Ajira is because when we started with Kenya Youth Empowerment Project, with the World Bank then, and the Ministry of Youth as it was known then, we were able to create 20,000 youth benefited from the program, with 80% of them securing jobs post the internships. And that gave us encouragement to move on with this whole idea of job creation. That time there were physical jobs, but as we have scanned the environment and realized there are more jobs online that Kenyans can do, and young people. And without also moving, because with physical jobs, if you get a job in Nairobi and you live in Mandera, then you have to move to Nairobi. But with digital jobs, you can do it in Mandera, you can do it in any part of this country. And so we did phase 1 of Ajira, which was funded by Rockefeller then Foundation, where about 8,000 youth were equipped with various online work skills, mentorship and coaching to enable them to tap into job opportunities. And I know many of them are the ones who've now benefited in Ajira 2, because then the platforms are there for them. And then now we move to Ajira 2, which we're working with MasterCard and Ministry of ICT, Immobilis and others. Under the COVID-19 recovery resilience program, we partnered again with MasterCard to offer SME loans, free interest loans of about 400. And about 400 SMEs for 1.5 million loan amount. So far, over 100 businesses have benefited from over 42 million to boost their businesses and help them recover from the effects of COVID. And we've been sharing some of these stories of some of them. And again, when we looked at the demographics, these are young people who have been going for these loans. And so again, it's a creation, and they're able to do their businesses. Then on capacity building, over the last 2 years, we've also partnered with MasterCard Foundation, Embassy of Ireland, and UNDP to provide training such as organizational management, mentorship, financial literacy, as what Jeremy talked about with Absa, and people management, digital literacy, business marketing, operations, among others, to women and youth-owned enterprises. Over 5,000 businesses have been reached so far. Further, mostly recently in July 1st, KEPSA, in partnership with Ziadi Limited, rolled out an initiative to provide free digital training to micro and small enterprises. And again, as you go around the country, these small and micro enterprises are young people. And so we are using every opportunity that we can, all partnerships that we can gather, to really equip them and to provide them with whatever they need to be able to do their jobs they already have, whether they are physical jobs, but also to access new jobs. Supporting digitization through the e-commerce booster program, in partnership with Trademark East Africa, supported by the European Union and the UK government, trained over 2,600 SMEs on e-commerce, digital marketing, and were onboarded into local and international digital marketplace. So again, we're doing two things. So there's where you can access jobs through the Ajira, but also if you're running a small business as a young person and you need to sell and to buy goods, you don't have to travel. You know, it's costly as you build your business. And so this e-commerce platform is for you so that you're able to do business and you can sell and buy to any part of this world. So it's not limited only to Kenya or the region or into Africa, but using the different platforms that are out there, you can be able to do business. We're also involved in implementation of other youth employment initiatives like Generation Unlimited, with the Office of the President. Then Wezesha Youth Placement Program, mentorship and coaching for youth in business, financial support for SMEs, TVET strengthening, green jobs at the coast. So we're already doing some of the green jobs at the coast, working with young people who are there in terms of recycling and creating jobs through the recycling and circular economy, and as a thought leadership on this space. As current challenges, these are known, they are very well known, but if you allow me, that I'll just mention that COVID pandemic has made it worse, where it is estimated that 738,000 Kenyans lost jobs across the 2020 calendar year, while employment rate also declined by 4.1%, with 1 million Kenyans entering into the job market each year. That gives us a good challenge. We look at it as a positive challenge that we have these 1 million people entering the job market. And so our intention, as you heard again from Absa, is to create those opportunities for these 1 million people who are entering the job market. And we realized with the digital space, there are many more jobs that we can create. And using the Ajira platform, and then creating different platforms where young people can access this job. This calls for more measures to attract investments into high potential sectors that would boost employment, creation, and also encouraging youth entrepreneurship. The biggest challenge here is improving our global competitiveness and addressing cost of doing business. It is projected that around 10 million young people will have entered the labor market by 2030. This is alarming, and it is therefore within our mandate as a private sector to support with interventions that will address this youth bulge before it gets out of hand. But as I said, it's a resource for us, not really a burden. The power of partnership and collaboration. So we believe in solving the problem will only happen through forming and creating sustainable partnerships between businesses, government, academia, development partners, and the youth themselves. There's need to increase investments in education, training, and labor intermediation, design incentives to catalyze growth of the private sector, intensify contribution of businesses in skills development for youth, promote digitization to unlock job opportunities for youth, as well as enhance public service and business operation efficiencies. So with this partnership with Absa, it's yet another milestone for us to move forward in addressing the youth employment. It's a sign of the private sector commitment to work with government and other development partners to scale up job creation. And so my call today is to really showcase what we're doing with Absa today, that many other businesses, many other companies, big and small, can do the same. And so we are looking forward to working with so many others. And just today, more than 400 youth are engaged through Ajira Partnership digital platform, Wowozi. And so there are many other platforms. So if we utilized every platform, if we worked with every company in this country, big and small, can you imagine the many jobs we can create? We can surpass the 1 million jobs that are needed every year of the youth that are coming out into the job market. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to Absa. I'm grateful to the Ministry of ICT for your partnership. You've really, really worked with us throughout as we started the Ajira 1, and now we're in Ajira 2, and even with the e-commerce platform, you've continued to work with us. And for Absa, may you challenge others who can also put jobs out there for the young people, because there are many jobs that we can put out there that we don't need to have them in our offices, but they can be done remotely through the internet. And I know the government is working so hard to connect every part of this country with internet, so we can have that. So we invite as many private sector companies to continue to support this cause of Ajira and creating their own platforms, and us linking us together and be able to monitoring and be able to share the information and bringing your skills. So if you're in the banking sector, you bring in the financial skills. If you're in the manufacturing sector, bring some of those skills, and we'll be able to do that. So thank you very much, Absa. We look forward to working very closely with you. We realize you're already putting many jobs in some of the platforms we've created, and so this just enhances that platform. So without further ado, allow me to welcome Lucy to be able to give her statement from the Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO KEPSA, Carol Kariuki. Thank you very much for those wonderful, wonderful remarks on what KEPSA is doing with its partners. We really appreciate it. It's quite, I kept on trying to catch up with you. There are so many. Okay, the CEO and Managing Director, Absa, Mr. Jeremy Owori, CEO KEPSA, Ms. Carol Kariuki, Chief Strategy Officer, Absa, Mr. Moses Mudhui, e-mobilist team who are here, MasterCard Foundation, the partners here, media present here, all protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Lucy Mulili, and I wish first of all to pass the apology from the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Joe Musheru, who was unable to join you today. But today I have a speech which I'm going to read. I would really have loved to be here, but due to other exigencies of duty, he wasn't able to come today to this function. Nevertheless, I will read this speech for the Cabinet Secretary. So it gives me great pleasure to be here to talk about equipping young Kenyans and other citizens with digital skills for the evolving world. I'm delighted to note that the effort and work done by Absa alongside your core mandate in the banking sector to train youth and citizens with digital skills. It is great to know that to date, over 200,000 registered youths have taken part in your Ready to Work program. And with this partnership, we now have national reach to scale this further exponentially. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ajira digital program has come of age since it was launched in December 2016. My ministry has ensured that the Ajira digital program runs efficiently, has an ecosystem approach, and stays true to its guiding principles, which are, number one, private sector first, where we derive value generation through the private sector. Number two, orchestration of the ecosystem to self-regulate and grow. Number three, generate more value to the citizens. And four, realization of a knowledge economy. Our mission is to enable 1 million of our youth to earn a decent wage from digital and digitally enabled jobs annually. We do this by promoting partnerships with the private sector, growing the platform economy, as well as creating avenues for training, mentorship, and networking. My ministry seeks to raise online work profile in Kenya and make Kenya the #1 destination for digital workers globally. Through the Ajira Youth Empowerment Centers, we are building a network of digital villages which will transform the lives of many youth if they take up the opportunities and make use of the government's infrastructure. And with this, I think I also need to mention that the new Ajira Youth digital villages, we are at the ministry level. We know we have already the existing youth empowerment centers, which belong to the State Department for Youth. And we are already adding value as a ministry to those youth empowerment centers to make sure that they are connected, they have laptops, and there's fast network which is available to the youth. And that is what the ministry is currently doing. You know, recently, last year, the State Department for Youth was moved from the State Department for Public Service, is now in the Ministry of ICT. And therefore, we are adding value to the current existing youth empowerment centers, which are spread across the country. The establishment of Ajira Youth Empowerment Centers in partnership with members of parliament has been a game changer for citizens through access, digital opportunities, and training, even from the remote parts of this beloved country. Citizens can walk to an Ajira Youth Empowerment Center, which is staffed and has high-speed internet, laptops, and space to carry out any tasks that they have. Upscaling networks to 4G frequency by private providers has meant that Kenya ranks amongst the countries with good internet connection that is affordable. My ministry has increased the coverage of the national optic fiber backbone infrastructure across the country. And as we speak today, we already have almost going to 10,000 kilometers of NOFB, national fiber optic network across the country. In the last few months, we have revamped the Ajira digital portal to enable centralized coordination of activities as well as access to content from our extensive partner network. Phase 1 of the revamped portal is complete, and we are now working on phase 2 of the portal, which will incorporate e-learning. Any partner with an approved course that can benefit the youth will have the option to upload their course on the portal. And I believe this is also what Absa is going to do, so that when they open the Ajira portal, they can also have a link to the Absa portal and learn and be ready and learn on the Ready to Work program. We will also encourage our members to generate their own content for sharing within the Ajira membership base. And the beautiful thing about learning is that really nobody can take it away from you, because there is so much that can be learned from these websites. Our program seeks to encourage self-paced upskilling and work readiness programs to all our members. Currently, we have a good number of training partners listed on our portal and have delivered substantial learning training with partners such as Cisco, Huawei, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Coursera. Skilled and trained personnel are key to marketing Kenya as a choice labor destination for freelancers. We urge Absa to continue exploring different areas where the market demands specific skills and deliver it to them. We have the required personnel under the Ajira Digital Program to help in curriculum development to meet the end user needs. The availability of Ajira Youth Empowerment Centers at the constituency and sub-county level can be fully utilized, even by youths without digital devices. My ministry has equipped every center with fast internet, staffed the center, and availed laptops for use by the citizens who visit the centers. I urge you to make use and direct more youths to the centers, because many of them in the rural areas can't afford the internet and the devices. The Absa Ajira Partnership will deliver training, will be a key milestone to ensure we create a pool of different training partners and we expose our youths to market demands, since the courses you are offering from the industry, are from the industry perspective. I take this opportunity to thank KEPSA for the continuous support towards the implementation of the Ajira Digital Program. And I look forward to working together on these new initiatives that we are launching with Absa. I wish to thank you all, and God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lucy Mulili, for your kind remarks. I've picked a number of statistics. I don't know if you are writing, but I mean, there's a lot of information that we are getting this morning that is going to help us even as we have these conversations. More than 738,000 young people, Kenyans lost jobs because of the pandemic. More than 10 million young people are going to be entering the job market by 2050. You know, she also mentioned one of the guiding principles of Ajira program. I'll just mention one that stands out for me: realization of knowledge economy, and that calls for partners and partnerships like this one. Almost 10 kilometers of fiber optic has been laid in Kenya. That means more and more young people are getting access to internet connectivity. I would want to request the Absa MD and CEO Jeremy Awori to come and take this seat. Then he'll be followed by the CEO of KEPSA, Carol Kariuki, in the middle, and the ministry representative, Madam Lucy. You'll take the extreme left, if you could kindly. We're going to be witnessing the signing ceremony between these organizations, and the ministry will be The last page. I'd request if you can remove your masks for the camera. Yeah. Kindly, if you can remove your masks for the camera. Thank you very much. Yeah. The page to be signed has been marked towards the end, so you can sign your section and pass on the document to the next person. A wonderful opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. They say that there is no better approach to solving challenges than the famous saying that two heads are better than one. And harnessing the strengths and abilities from these different organizations is in the ecosystem is one of the strategic ways where businesses can scale their innovation to solve complex challenges. And so this gives us great joy to just witness the signing ceremony between KEPSA and Absa Bank and the Ministry of ICT, represented by Madam Lucy Mulili, on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary. Thank you very much. All right. Once you're done, I would request you to make your way on stage with a document so that we can have a photo opportunity. Yeah? We'll start with the three of you, and then I'll... Yes. With one document, it's okay. I can take the rest. Let me take this document. Yeah. Let me take one of the documents. Thank you. So we'll have Jeremy. You can take a step forward as you exchange the document with Madam Carol. Then Madam Lucy would stand behind to witness the same. Yes. All right. You can tilt the document so that it can. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd want to request Mr. Moses Mudhui and Dr. Gashogu to join them on stage. All right, Dr. Ehud and Moses Mudhui, kindly join them on stage. I can... Yeah, let me give you this document so that you can face the cameras. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And finally, I'd request the Head of Sustainability, Jen Wayaki, please join them on stage. All right. Yes, I'd request that we social distance. So 1 meter for my. I need an image that I can use online.
You don't need the documents now. They can do it.
Let me take the documents away. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. You can look at the cameras properly, angle yourself. Yeah. Jen, if you could just move. Yes. You can move slightly here in the middle, madam. Yes. Sorry? You're not? Yeah. I hope you can see her. You can just lower the hands slightly for her. Thank you. Yeah. All right. One more. Good. Thank you very much. You can take your seats. Thank you very much. As they come down, all right, thank you very much for joining us online. For those who had joined us online, thank you very much for that, giving us that opportunity. We don't take it for granted that you took time to join us on YouTube and Facebook. We are very, very delighted, and we want to take this opportunity to say thank you for being with us this morning. I will be going offline with those who are following us online, and I haven't forgotten that I had made a promise that I will be awarding some of the people who had given comments on social media. I will be inboxing you so that you can be able to know how to pick your gift. So thank you very much for engaging with us. Let's spread the word and talk about this opportunity that is amazing for the young people, so that we can be able to give them an avenue to be able to create opportunities for themselves and for their younger brothers who are coming behind them. I want to, as we go off from digital, I want to come back to the room here and request if there will be any questions from the media. I will just give a few minutes for any questions. If you have a question, I would request you that you state your name and the media house you represent, and then I'll give you an opportunity to ask your question.